It was yesterday that Vice President Joe Biden called Donald Trump a racist. I listed you a bunch of things that Donald Trump has done over the years, even recently in his defense of the Confederate flag. But before we get to the issue,
I listed policy that he's implemented since he's been president of the United States that has been directed to help African Americans.
Yep, and to counter that, I would say if you've done 1,000 great things for African Americans, 1,000 policies that have helped 100 million minorities, but you say something that is awfully racist, whether it be the N-word or anything even close to that, doesn't mean you're not a racist just because you did 1,000 things in policy.
And by that logic, you're saying that actions are completely irrelevant and words are significantly more important than actions.
Both are important. Both are important.
You're telling me if Donald Trump goes out of his way with policy to help 100 million African Americans,
but he calls somebody the N-word, it erases everything else you've done in your life.
Show me any time where Donald Trump has publicly called anyone the N-word, except for his niece, who was paid a significant amount of money.
Again, you don't
to write a book about.
Again, you're not correlating what I'm saying.
Because it doesn't make sense.
It makes complete sense. You can your whole life you can do policy and say things. And do great things.
What policy is?
If I can just finish, do great things for minorities when it comes to policy. But the second you say racist things and you stereotype people, it's not an excuse. And again, I don't think you understand what a stereotype is. Clearly you don't, because I just said when you look at somebody with a yarmulke, which is what Donald Trump did, you look at somebody wearing a yarmulke, meaning that they're Jewish, and you look at them and you make a money stereotype and you say, I want that person, hold on, let me finish. I want that person counting my money because they're wearing a yarmulke. That is a stereotype with Jews and money, and quite frankly, the fact that you don't even understand that is incredible to me.
Okay. Well, if someone looks at me and they think that I went to a preparatory school, which I did not, I would have no problem with that whatsoever because I look like someone who maybe went to a preparatory school.
So just
when
because
someone calls me a prep,
I'm
fine with that because that is what I look like. That's what I sound like. That's what I project to the audience.
So because it's a positive stereotype, it can't be racist. That's one of the craziest things I've ever heard in my life.
Every single stereotype is racist, and
stereotype is wrong.
Stereotypes come from a mounting evidence of truth, and people use them.
Stereotypes also come from racists.
To live there. In some cases they do, but not every single one of them.
Okay. Well,
people use them.
You're not Jewish
because they're based on previous experiences.
Well, you're not Jewish. I am, and I'm going to say it once again.
Okay, so silence me because I'm not Jewish.
I'm not silencing you.
All I'm saying is I've been stereotyped for plenty of reasons before in my life.
Okay, I'm sure you've been. I'm sure
I have.
Okay, I'm sure you have.
And if it's a positive thing, then I don't have an issue with it.
Okay,
and why would I?
Okay, well that's you, and I think that's crazy because when somebody looks at somebody based on religion, in this case being Jewish, which is what Donald Trump did, assume just because they wear a yarmulke and they're Jewish, they must be good with money. Do you not understand the stereotype trope when it comes to Jewish people and money? How can you be ignorant to that? I don't understand. Only somebody who is living under a rock.
No, Brian, I get that it's a stereotype. I don't see how.
And Jews don't appreciate it.
I don't see. So if I assume that you are good with money, that's a problem?
I would call you a moron for making a statement like that. Yeah, if you ever said that to me, I would want to punch you, and I would call you a moron.
You would want to punch me under
Absolutely, because it's a stereotype to Jewish people.
And you think that is reasonable?
Yes, I do, because I would want to. I didn't say I would. I would call you.
Obviously,
I would call you extremely stupid, and I would try to explain to you, as I'm doing right now, and I'm not getting to you, that when you use a stereotype like that, in this case towards a Jew. Hold on.
Okay, let's say you see someone that's 6'4", 230 pounds, and you say, "Did you play sports in high school?"
You are injecting how tall they are.
Well, I'm just saying
you are injecting how tall they are.
It's a stereotype, regardless.
You are.
And that's predicated on the size of the person.
I'm going to get nowhere here with you.
And that's that's all based on mounting evidence in your life.
So there's mounting evidence that Jews are good with money. Is that what you're saying?
There are a lot of attorneys, and there are a lot of CPAs, and there are a lot of accountants that are Jewish, yes.
Okay, I'm sad to say you have no idea how stereotypes can hurt people.
If you have those positions, then most likely you're pretty good with money.
Okay, well, you know what? I'm sad to say this, but I'm going to be honest with you. My co-host does not understand how a stereotype can hurt somebody. He doesn't understand how it's wrong to stereotype somebody based on religion or the color of your skin. I don't think you do, because you don't think there's anything wrong with it. So obviously you don't. If you did understand it, then you wouldn't say it's okay. It's not okay to look at somebody based on their religion and just assume they're good with money because they're Jewish. That is wrong, and that is a stereotype. You sound like Stephen Jackson, and I'm not going to listen to it.
No, I don't sound like Stephen Jackson.
You know what?
At all,
Stephen
Brian.
Jackson said
No.
the Jews own all the banks.
I'm not talking about Rothschilds or George Soros or anything along those lines.
In your mind, it's okay.
I'm not going way over the top into that whole. There's
in your mind, it's okay.
There's one family that controls every single central central banking system in the world. I'm not saying that at all.
In your mind, it's okay to look at someone and see that because they are Jewish, they must be good with money. I'm sorry, but that's ignorant. 702-257-5396 is the number to call. Let's go to Patty. Patty, you're up next on the Vegas Take. What's going on?
Hey, what's up, Patty?
Good morning. How are you both?
Doing well.
JD, I don't know how you do it every day. I don't know how you do it. You're not racist. You know you're not racist, but you don't sound confident when you say you're not racist. And that's what I find disturbing with people. The conversations have gotten so hostile that when Caucasians are not racist, they're not even sure how adamant they should be about it.
Well, I'm very adamant.
When they're not.
I'm very adamant. I can only speak for myself. I know I'm not racist. I'm not apologizing to anybody.
I've never actually gone on air and said that I'm not racist, but I would assume based on my rhetoric and the things that I discuss, that people would know that I'm not racist. But I will say it for the first time. I, J.D. Sharp, am not racist.
That's right, and you should say it like you mean it. And then you know what? Sometimes you have to write people off if they don't believe you. But let me say this: the stereotyping is from ignorance. And J.D. has not had the exposure to this kind of tension among people based on race as people from maybe different parts, different regions.
Okay, Patty, I agree. Patty,
So,
I agree with you, but what's bothering me about this conversation is I don't feel like J.D. is respecting, understanding, and just taking a step back and saying, Brian, you might be right about that. I got to think about that. That's what's bothering me.
I see that, Brian. I understand that, but you know what? It sounds like what I've heard from my people for so many years. The anger and the rage does not accomplish anything. If he doesn't know, and he hasn't experienced it in his life, he doesn't know anybody who has, he doesn't get it. It's no different than if somebody said, hey, I'll give you guys $100, go outside, you stop two black guys around your age, race them, and if you can beat them running, down the street, I'll give you $100. And you will assume those black guys are going to run faster. They can jump higher. People do this. The only difference, I think, with Trump, he says racist things. He is extremely ignorant. I don't know how his family paid all this money for private schools for him to be as ignorant as he is.
Right.
He doesn't bite his tongue about anything. But I don't believe racism is in his heart. That's why he can do so much in terms of policy for blacks.
Well, all I can do, Patty, I hear you, Patty. I hear you, Patty, and I appreciate the phone call.
Good call, Patty.
All I can do is go by the way somebody's lived their life, the things they've said in their life, the things they've treated certain people in their life. We got a lot of people on hold, so let's try to get to as many calls as we can. Let's go to Rick. I believe Rick is next on the Vegas Take. Rick, what's going on?
Hey, what's up, Rick?
Hi. You know what? I just want to say, why isn't the far left not calling Louis Farrakhan on being racist?
I'm not far left. Louis Farrakhan is a piece of garbage.
Good. I'm glad you agree. All right.
Well, any reasonable human being would agree with that.
Precisely. Thank you. But some of the people doesn't seem that way.
He's a piece of crap. He's a racist piece of garbage.
Thank you. That's all I want to hear. Thank you. Have a nice
all right.
day.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what, in poker,
he had a strong relationship with Barack Obama.
You know when? Okay, well that's another debatable subject.
Okay.
But we're going back to Barack Obama. We're talking about Donald Trump. But I will say this: it's like in poker when you know somebody is bluffing. It's called an insta call. You know they're lying. That was an insta call. Louis Farrakhan is a racist. Al Sharpton is a racist. And I call those people out just as I call out people on the other side. 257-5396, the number to call. Chris is next. Chris, what's going on?
What's up, Chris?
What's up, Chris? What's going on? You there? We lost Chris. 257-5396. Go to next caller is Mike. Mike, what's up?
Hey, Mike.
JD, I hear you guys say you might become syndicated.
Yes, sir. We're in the process of doing that.
Well, why don't you? I got an idea. You could put Brian on Saturday with that other liberal that's got that 20-minute show, and you
Mike,
could
that's a
stay
great
here.
idea. Hey,
They
Mike.
could be
Hey,
the never
Mike.
Trump
Yeah, I got to tell
Hey,
you, I got to
Mike.
tell you, Mike. I have to agree. Brian is one of the best in the business and probably one of the top 5 interviewers in America.
Hey, Mike,
So
why don't you?
that will not take place.
Hey, Mike, why don't you take your Confederate flag and shove it up your ass? How about that?
Wow, you're as thin-skinned as most liberals.
Hey, you're about as fat-skinned as Donald Trump. 702-257-5396.
Good call, Mike.
Yeah, that was a wonderful call. Hey, Brian. Why don't you go back into your mobile home and have a nice day with your Confederate flag? 257-5396 is the number to call. Why don't we go to Jim? I believe Jim is next on the Vegas Take. Jim, what's up?
Hey, Jim.
Hey, you know what I think, Brian? I think maybe what JD thinks is if a stereotype is not malicious, it's not bad. And I don't believe that JD is at all racist or anti-Semite because you wouldn't work with him. But my thing about Donald Trump being racist, I'm a reasonable Trump supporter.
Okay.
And I would say to a certain degree he probably is. But would you rather have a person that is to a certain degree racist that helps out the race that he supposedly doesn't like, or somebody who, like Joe Biden? And I'm not saying Joe Biden, but the only thing I've ever seen Joe Biden do for black people is try to get their votes.
Well, here's what I'll answer that.
That's my question.
Here's the way,
that's a very valid statement,
Okay,
especially
so-
after what he said on Charlemagne the God, which is if
Yeah.
you don't vote for me, then you ain't black. I mean,
Jim-
how is that not
Jim, were you asking me?
incredibly racist by all these
I'm sorry?
definitions?
Was that you want to? I don't know. Who are you asking? Me or JD or both of us? Or
He's asking Brian.
Oh, okay.
Anybody really?
All right.
It's sort of rhetorical. I mean,
no, it's a
the
good
thing
question,
is
and I'll answer it.
Let's say this way, Brian. If you were, let's say you were offered a job to make X amount of dollars.
I'll answer
by
it. I
somebody-
understand.
No. I just want to kind of make a thing. Somebody offered you a job for X amount of dollars, and they were the nicest guy in the world, but somebody else offered it to you for double the money, and they were kind of an a-hole. I'd work for the a-hole that wasn't very nice to me.
Here's the way
because
I would
he'd be doing
respond.
Good for me.
Jim, I understand the question, and here's the way I'll respond to that. We should want both in this country. We should want somebody that doesn't have a history of making racist, misogynistic comments, and somebody that has good policy. Why can't we want both in this country? Let's go back to the phone lines at
Good call, Jim.
257-5396. Got a lot of people on hold here. I'm not even sure who's next. All right, let's go to Calvin. Calvin, you're next on the Vegas Take. Calvin, what's going on, man?
Hey, what's up, Calvin?
How you guys doing, man?
Good, doing great.
I wasn't even going to call in today, but with that last statement, I have to. When you bring up Louis Farrakhan, in my book, Louis Farrakhan and Donald Trump are twins.
Agree.
And I would vote for Louis before I would Donald Trump. I'm sorry, I can't do it.
I don't want to vote for either of them, Calvin.
Neither do I. But when you talk about poison, you can't say one's a scumbag when the other one is equally just a scumbag.
Well, Calvin, listen, my friend, I'm not going to disagree with you. I think they are both scumbags. 257-5396.
Thanks for the call, Calvin.
Let's go to Matthew. Matthew, you're next on the Vegas Take. What's up, Matthew?
Hey, Matthew.
Matthew. Yes, what's up, my friend?
Hey, I just noticed Brian says he doesn't stereotype, but the last caller he told to go take his Confederate flag and go back into his mobile home.
Yeah, I stereotype. You know what? I
That's
guess
a stereotype.
I guess I stereotype ignorant people. So you got me there, Matthew. I stereotype not because of the color of his skin. He might be black. Somebody who holds a Confederate flag is an ignorant piece of garbage. I think that caller is an ignorant piece of garbage. He could be black,
don't
yellow,
even-
green,
you
or
don't even
purple.
know
I
him.
don't care. No, I know a lot about him.
Stereotype.
Here's what he did. Here's a stereotype. When you call into a radio show and you say something stupid, you're probably stupid. Have a nice day, Matthew. I'll put you on the list as well. I'm stereotyping you, Matthew. You're dumb.
Hey, good call, Matthew.
702-257-5396. Let's go to Mike. Mike, you're next on the Vegas Take. What's up, Mike?
Yes. I agree with the last couple of callers. You are stereotyping people, but I will tell you this. You have no knowledge of their lives, so I will say this. I'm stereotyping you, and I think you came from a mother that's a whore. How about that?
Oh, well, thank you, Mike. What do you do
And
for a
fuck
living?
you.
Mike, oh, okay. Thank you, Mike. Thank you for the phone call. See, that's what I mean when I say ignorant idiots. They'll call into a show. These are the racist buffoons that call in, and they're angry at me for calling out racism. These are some of the most disgusting, ignorant people on the planet. Sad to say, some of them live right here in Las Vegas.
Not a great call, Mike.
702-257-5396. Why don't we go to Mark? Mark, you're next on the Vegas Take. What's up, Mark?
Hey, what's up, Mark?
Hey, well, I checked my temperature this morning, and I found out that there is something normal about me.
What's that?
My temperature.
Oh, your temperature. I got you. I got you.
Yeah. Hey, couple of things. One, I have friends in the Jewish community, and they're not all great with money. Come on, they're like everybody else. They're human beings. So let's get over the stereotyping, and it is not helpful. And it's time to put that aside and treat each other with some kind of respect.
I agree.
You know, we need to move on that. The other question I have is that I hear callers making the claim that Trump has been good to the minority communities because unemployment rates are down. But I never see anyone answer the question, what specific policy enacted through Congress did he put in place that actually caused minority communities to become better in any way, shape, or form?
All right, we'll let JD respond to that. Go ahead, JD.
Specific
off the top of my head.
Yeah, I don't care about off the top of your head.
Okay, yeah, I don't have that answer specifically off the top of my head, but he has reduced regulations for employers, which has allowed them to hire more people, and a lot of those people have been minorities.
Okay. Well, I think it's a very fair question to ask. When you're going to say that he's done all these things for minorities, you should know the policies that he's put in place to do so. That's all. 702-257-5396 is the number to call. I believe Marty is next. Marty, what's going on?
What's up, Marty?
Not too much. I just wanted to say I can prove that JD is ignorant about stereotypes.
Okay.
All right, I'm ready.
That if a policeman came to his door and he said there has been an accident and it appears his wife was struck by a truck, he would say, but she has a great personality.
Okay.
He just doesn't know. He doesn't get it.
Yeah. JD, do you understand where he's going with that?
No.
Explain yourself a little further,
not at
Marty.
all, Marty.
Explain that to JD.
Not at all.
He just would say, I mean, you know how ugly people have a good personality? That's what he would go with. He would say, the cop said his wife was hit by a truck, but she has a good personality.
Marty, I like you, buddy, but I got to tell you, I'm having trouble following what you're saying. I'm having some problems, Marty. You sound like a really nice guy.
Have you seen my wife?
I am a nice guy. I try to make him laugh.
Well, it's kind of funny, but I'm also kind of confused at the same time. But Marty, I like you, buddy. Call back anytime. Whatever.
All right, Marty. Thanks.
Whatever drugs Marty has taken, I want those drugs. 702-257. I don't know what he was talking about. 257-5396. That was really weird.
I think he was like 60% of the way to the point that the joke needed more to it.
It did.
It just wasn't enough.
Let's go to. But he was a funny guy. Let's go to Jimmy. Jimmy, you're next on the Vegas take. Jimmy, what's going on, my friend?
Hey, Jimmy.
Jimmy, are you there?
Not much, just chilling.
What's up, Jimmy?
It's a proven fact that the Ashkenazi Jews of Europe have a higher IQ than any other group of people in the world.
And that's true. That is a true statement.
Is there a study that did that? Since it's a fact,
that is. I think it's like 100. What is it? It's 125. So anyway, is that the average?
So I would love to hear that study. Did they like give a study to everybody in the world as compared to these Jews, like an IQ test? Is that what they did?
I don't know.
You don't know exactly, but yet you're still saying it's a fact.
Yeah, I know that it's a fact.
How is it? Then give me the study. Look it up on the internet. Yeah, well, I can go on InfoWars too.
Hey, you know what, Brian? I'll look this up tonight and we'll talk about it tomorrow. Yeah, it is. I've seen this before.
Well, I'll say this.
Anyway, let me
hold on a second.
Point.
Okay, I'll let you get your point, but I'll say this. I probably have.
And somebody with a higher IQ is probably better with money.
Okay, well, I'll say this.
No,
I probably have a higher IQ than you, but it has nothing to do with the fact that I'm Jewish. I'll say that. But it's a fact, Jimmy. It's a fact. It's a fact, Jimmy, that I have a higher IQ than you. It's a fact. 257-5396.
Well, for example, I'm Dutch, and
I was trying to make a joke. We don't have to be serious.
And Dutch
that's not a serious call.
Dutch people are the average Dutch person is 6'2", and they're the tallest people in the world as a nation. And so when you see me and you assume, and I'm 6'3", I'm not 6'8", but when you see me and you assume that I'm Dutch based on that statistic, I don't call that a negative stereotype.
Okay, again, hold on. Looking at somebody, their physical attribute, and saying they're tall, and then looking at somebody and assuming they're good with money are two completely different things. And again, I cannot believe you don't understand that.
Being good with money and being intelligent are correlated.
You have no idea if somebody is good with money or not just because they're Jewish. It is a ridiculous assumption, and it's beyond ignorant. Okay, 257-5396. Let's go to Steve. Steve, you're next on the Vegas take. Steve, what's going on?
Hey, what's up, Steve?
How you guys doing?
What's up, Steve?
I just want to know why, Brian. How come everybody that doesn't agree with you is racist and you hang up?
If somebody, so you think I should keep somebody on the line that says I'm bad at radio? You think I should keep somebody on the line that makes an ignorant, racist comment? You can listen to those shows if you want to. I'm not going to, Steve.
You should listen to his opinion, and then
you want to hear me. You want to hear somebody. You want me to waste my time with somebody?
I don't like you. You're racist. Hang up. Bye.
Steve. Okay, Steve. Okay, Steve. The floor is yours. What would you like to talk about that's so great and important? Go ahead. Yeah, exactly. Another doofus. Let's go to Paul. Paul, you're next on the Vegas take. Paul, what's going on?
What's up, Paul?
Hey, Brian. Hey, as bad as you hate Donald Trump, is there any policy that he's put into place that you would view as good?
Absolutely. First of all, reform when it comes to our prison system.
Yeah.
That was certainly, and by the way, I've talked about this. I do believe we need secure borders. I don't think Mexico is going to pay for it, but here's something that I think Donald Trump should do.
That wall does look pretty good, by the way.
Here's something that
so
I think.
You're a reasonable Trump hater. As I am a reasonable Trump supporter.
That's funny. I'm a reasonable person. Here's something that Donald Trump will never talk about, but I think if he did talk about it, he would agree with me. The biggest immigration issue in this country are people that overstay their visas, not people that cross the border illegally. Why can't we put ankle bracelets on these people? They're not criminals, but let's make sure they don't overstay their visa.
He would be called then. He would somehow or other. And I think the thing about President Trump, like you were earlier talking about a mask mandate,
right?
Which I agree with 100%. But I promise you, there would be pushback on it because he did it.
Well, I'm not one of them, Paul. I'm not one of them.
I know you're not, but I'm saying the world in general, or our country in general, is looking for reasons to be pissed off at him. And do you agree with him sending federal troops to, Portland and Chicago and to try and protect innocent people because these people are calling themselves demonstrators?
I'm glad you brought that up, and I'm sorry. I apologize, Paul. I'm up against a hard break here, but we are going to discuss that coming up later in the show.
Good. We haven't gotten. We need to get to that.
We will discuss that.